and welcome to the All Out review. We are the Dudley Boys of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened at All Out this weekend. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we review AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on wrestle culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and birthday boy Michael Sidgwick here to review AEW All Out. The thing fell down. I don't know what's happened over here. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Michael Sidgwick.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for that.
Did you get anything nice for your birthday?
Well, I might have mentioned this already, but I got... The only thing I wanted was a few more family days than usual. Doing a joint 40th big thing with the missus next year. So I just wanted a big old goal with a net in for my garden.
Nice.
I don't really like stuff. So what I'm going to do, I got some money off the folks. So I'm going to get some ridiculously, and I mean ridiculously overpriced competition level coffee, best in the world here. That's all I want really. And, but with it being a birthday, you get stuff that you didn't necessarily ask for, like an extra 1.5 hours of wrestling that I thought were unnecessary on this show. I mean, come on, these things are too long. I'm not going to get bogged down because I know some people don't like it, and I know I'm old, and I know I'm British, and I know that people want to get their money's worth, and I get it. I watch this in installments, so I wouldn't be too much in a mood about what at its best was an excellent professional wrestling show that I am genuinely, earnestly looking forward to putting over. So I'm just going to say, will you put a timer on us, please?
Go on. How long do you want? A minute?
90 seconds,
okay.
Just so I don't have a 10-minute discourse about it.
See that? That's discipline with your timekeeping.
It is.
Like AEW could learn a thing or two.
This is it.
Right.
So just a 90-second countdown and then cut me off and I'll shut up about the show length.
Okay.
Individual match lengths might come into the review.
Okay, Michael Sidgwick, your time starts now.
It no longer feels, after you've watched a merely excellent night of professional wrestling major show action, I can't believe I've just watched that. I can't believe the show was so good. Whether it's the TV being really even more than ever action heavy, that this has happened, the fact that these are now near monthly. They're all very good. Some of them are great. Some of them are often great. None of them feel like, God, I can't believe that was amazing. That was so great. Like some of the best AEW pay-per-views ever. That feeling is gone. It's not just me being British, miserable, a parent, watching it installments. There is a 3-minute phase in virtually every single AEW pay-per-view match where this crowd seems to collectively go, this is going longer than I thought. All right, 3 minutes of just stuff happening and a lull. Are you earnestly as excited for Dynamite this Wednesday as you were after the aforementioned truly special AEW main events where Wednesday could not come quick enough because you were desperate to see the ramifications? No. These things are too long. There is too much product. The live attendances and the TV ratings bear out the take, in my opinion, that this audience is... It's a weird paradox as ever. The circular conversations will continue. A lot of people are feeling a little bit burned out by what remains at its best an excellent product. It never really makes a great deal of sense. These shows are too goddamn long, but this one in particular was great when it was great.
Look at that. Bang on 90 seconds.
There we go. I'm going to shut up now about AEW State of Address.
What do you make of it all?
40s are like his 30s, man. Articulating it better than anyone in the business. Like, there was more good than bad on this show, but I think the discourse around the usual AEW pay-per-view problems is so prevalent at this point that all does away with, like, we do these match by match in order to try and give everything the attention it deserves, I suppose. But I think it does away with that conversation in the aftermath because people just unfortunately get bogged down in the bigger picture of whether it's state of AEW, whether it's the length of the title. Like, all these things are just so apparent that, like, there was some really, really good stuff on the show. There was also some crap.
Yeah.
And I think both are getting, like, a bit lost to the... Like, it feels to me like within AEW, it gets harder to, if you're the booker or if you're, like, agents or people that really want to make, like, a lot of small changes for the betterment of the show and the experience of watching these, you probably don't get a chance to get surgical with it or get granular because a criticism can be washed away with some people are never going to be happy, or the praise can be lost to people are getting bored and tired though. Do you know what I mean? Like these bigger picture things are just so like omnipresent in the conversation around these AEW pay-per-views that the truly great matches, if they're even happening, are not being held up as truly great. And the stinkers and the turkerinos are getting a bit of a let-off as well. And that's what these reviews are for, I guess, as we go. But then, even then, me and Sid were previewing it, and you're like, we've gone a long time here. It's because if you're going to spend time on every single match, you're going to end up going long, and it becomes...
That's an us problem as much as anything else.
Well, but what I was trying to get
we're out of control.
Yeah. It becomes, I guess, as... Like, Sid putting 90 seconds on it, the point there is... Like, you get no joy from saying that it goes too long.
Yeah,
it's as tiresome as anything else.
Yeah.
And it's as tiresome for people to listen to, and we're aware of that. But it is as tiresome to say it and to keep thinking and feeling when you're watching them. Well, good show.
Yeah, we'll talk only about the 10-match main card, which we'll get into right now, which started, of course, with Cope and Cage versus FTR and the debut of Beth Copeland, which I don't know what really made me laugh when it was just like, Beth on the screen. I was like, oh, it's Beth Phoenix. Oh, wait, no, it's not Beth Phoenix. What did you make of the match overall?
Not a great deal. Not a great deal. I was looking forward to it, and it was kind of shocking to me. Then again, it shouldn't have been that this was a match that FTR and Cope, and maybe to a lesser extent Christian Cage, doesn't seem to be as bothered by this whole lore as everybody else. I know Cope is, I think, friendlier with Cash and Dax than Cope might be. I don't know the details of their interpersonal relationships, but it seems to me Cope and FTR have wanted this match basically since Cope knew he was physically up to it. When at that point they were in the same company, but only for the briefest amount of time. Then they probably held on to it, and they might have had conversations about, oh, come over, we can finally do it, we can finally do it, we can finally do it. I don't know, maybe that went against it because this just felt weirdly stylized and moment-driven than something I found truly immersive and hateful. And look, there was a point in the storyline where Cope got his neck broken or concertoed by FTR. That happened. I'm not making it up, correct? Didn't really feel like that in the body of the match. It felt like their WhatsApp planning of the match come to life rather than this really gripping, immersive hole that I could get lost into. A Titantron with an unexpected surprise. It's just that sort of pro wrestling in 2025 and nonsense that I just can't be bothered with. I was never the biggest Beth Phoenix fan in the world, so I can't really pretend to admit that I cared. But what I mean by all the little cool ideas that they had, and they've probably been, as soon as they knew this match is happening and this is the penciled in date, they would probably go, now, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? And then we could do that. And then Cope can do Christian's move at the same time as Christian does Cope's move. And I just felt it was a spot fest of moments and ideas rather than something I truly enjoyed.
It felt like they lent more on, like, not can they coexist, it's very lazy. If it's just like, the bit early on in the match where it's like Christian gets isolated and every time he tries to get over to Cope, he's either busying himself with, fighting with Dax on the floor or getting yanked off the apron and stuff. And you almost forgot that they tried to kill Cope, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fine. I don't know. I thought this would resolve my issues with Cope, but Cope is going to cope. If that makes sense. He just can't really help himself. People might want to hear us talk about the Cena spot. Didn't bother me in the least, but it just, again, it felt like that Cope has spent his entire AEW run basically sucking his own dick. Like with remember when this happened in my career? I'm gonna do a nice callback. It seems like he's obsessed with his own lore, and obviously he was a major rival of John Cena's in the late 2000s, and I don't care if you're going to do it in a different company. That stuff, I cannot pretend to care about it at all. It just feels like, in a weird way, like Cope. It's a different kind of deal to say, who's the best example of getting their shit in? Teddy Hart.
Yeah.
It's a similar philosophy to that, just not with moves, but with moments. Like, he has to get Edge into the Edge matches all the time, and they just feel synthetic and stylized to me as a result. And it's cool if you're a Cope person. I'm not So it didn't do a great deal for me at all, really, this match.
Would you say he's huffing the copium a bit too much?
Yeah.
The WhatsApp take is so spot on because I quite enjoyed this, but in a sense, I felt like I was the target audience for those WhatsApps. Randy Savage used to go move by move by move, and that must have been a frigging nightmare, if you recall it in the ring guy. Ricky Steamboat said as much. And yet, how great were Randy Savage's matches? So how sharp was his mind to know that the ebb and flow was going to suit the notes he's made? That in itself was its own achievement, that like they were as good as they were, considering he'd like planned this out in advance. This was their version of that. And unfortunately, and you know, this is not a knock on any of them, most of them aren't Randy Savage on the best day. They're very close sometimes. All four of them are very close on the best day. And there were certainly moments that it approached that, like, you've really thought about that. The one that got me more than any of the rest was FTR catching Christian Cage with the double draping DDT. And I took that as we preferred teaming with Randy Orton than we ever did you. Like, Randy Orton's the better member of rated RKO. And that, again, it's all still edged law, but I think there was ways to be a bit more artful with it than just, right, what else was still on the WhatsApp tick list that we haven't gotten to yet. The double moves bit was a really clear example of that. I did enjoy it. I did feel like it completely, this was weird, it totally betrayed the blood feud for the entire duration of the match and then tried to bring it back for the post-match. So it was like they were trying to have the cake and eat it. I've enjoyed the journey with this. And I think I was getting satisfaction out of actually seeing it play out. And I was like, I'm so happy they made it to Toronto. And I like, it was quite WWE, all of this, when I think about it. And maybe that was what I was enjoying about it. The fact that, like, genuinely, like, the fact that sort of Cope, that this was all centered around getting to Toronto and this very WWE act in Edge and Christian were getting this, like, one last run. And they were getting it against a team that meant a lot to Edge, and like that relationship, as Sidge points out, like how it could have happened over there and it didn't, and now they've got the chance to run it over here. The Cena stuff, just briefly, I'm the same as Sidge. I have no issues with it, like crossing straight lines. What I just want to use it for is an example of what happens every single time we cover these AEW shows, and if there's a quiet crowd, right, somebody will reply that was in the building and say, can't be quiet because they're really loud in my section. Yes, you're in a building, it's always loud. However, the Cena thing got a massive response in the building and a load of stuff didn't. So we can't talk about micing issues and we can't talk about quiet sections. We can talk as pay-per-view viewers of what sounded loud in the building, and that was loud, which means that other things couldn't be. Like if you couldn't hear it, it's not because of a micing or an audio thing, or not entirely anyway, because that got a reaction. And I kind of don't hold it against Cope for going for it as well. Cena did it in his match, and it's just a nice moment across the divide between two people that respect each other, like, fine, you know. Didn't break my immersion, but then probably because my immersion was only there. Copy your own homework with Beth, I suppose. It was the Judgment Day one. It was really effective, wasn't it? You know, when it was like to set up the Rhea Ripley thing and that, and the concerto order, and it was super effective then. So there's no reason why it wouldn't work now. I just found it a bit jarring that, like, while I remember, bit of the Moxleys from Cope, wasn't it? Like 58 moves, 2, like one spitter, wrap it up, boys. Like it's a little bit of that.
The finish was an anticlimax.
Yeah,
the finish was an anticlimax.
I know that like FTR aren't exactly like up and comers at this point, but like Mr. Just Here for the Young Guys, like taking the kitchen sink for a 2.9 and then just hitting one spear for the win is a little bit like, how it, mate? Come on.
I just can't do it with him anymore. I cannot do it with him anymore. Like, he should have been told a while ago. Like, this is the reason why I hate the fact that I know they've changed it gently back to Adam Copeland. But you'll always be Cope to me. The fact that the guy gave himself a nickname that his close friends in wrestling probably call him, under the mistaken belief that we liked him enough to call him that as well, it just speaks so much about the man and what he's done. Say it right. I know he says it's his last contract. Every wrestler says they're doing the last contract. Cody Rhodes is 40 years old and said he was going to retire at 40. These things just don't happen. If Cope were to leave, I know the age thing gets in the way of this, but bear with me, right? It's a hypothetical. If Cope leaves AEW at the end of this year, right, goes to WWE, has an 18-monther of a run, right, 2-year of a run, hops back over to AEW. What could he do in AEW that's original that he could call back to and tell stories that are like within the lineage of that promotion and the lore of that promotion. Nothing. He's just been doing edge-fed stuff since day one. And I just find it really off-putting and arrogant. And if you don't particularly have the best memories of like the Brood Edge, you could possibly care about the Brood. You're lying if you think they were over, because guess what? They weren't. So he's just been, God, is he not tired?
On that.
Is he not came yet? After sucking himself off for like what feels like 6 years at this point, 5 years.
You say he was edging, but it's copyrighted. So
exactly.
He's coping. I have to say, on that though, because Edge and Christian nostalgia was important here, but
this is the one time you could have justified it, yes.
But they can't do, they could have done, but they elected not to do like the 5-second pause. For example, if you've seen that thing where like Edge is like trying to be as moody as Christian where they lean on the rope together. I like that, them trying to construct one. I did actually really like the preamble. I don't know the hockey player and the Canadian comic, but I liked like they established the tone of Edge and Christian quite effectively using the 2025 Christian Cage, he's my asshole character. Like, I don't need to know who these people are to enjoy the comedic dynamic between the two. And I thought that was a nice spin on 5-second pose here, Edge and Christian. They're still those mates, but Cage can be himself and it can feel authentic. So I quite enjoyed that. It was bollocks wrestling comedy, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
We have to mention the post-match, as you say. So Cope pins Wheeler after a spear, and then
just one.
Out comes Nick Wayne with his broken foot, and of course Nick Wayne's mom, who's got it going on. Kip Sabian gets involved, FTR attack, and it ends up that Cope is handcuffed to the bottom rope and watches as they not only spike piledrive his tag partner, but also Beth Copeland as well. I like the bit where she's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to fight your battles here. And then she just, brawled with them and FTR hit her with a spike piledriver. What do you make of all that?
It's weird. Like, I can't tell, right, if it's a scheduling thing or if there's no plans for Beth to do anything proper in AEW. It just felt pretty rushed to me.
Yeah, like, because like a 6-person that can spring forth off this is almost like a rematch that you didn't want.
Yeah.
Them wrapping it up with FTR, win, lose or draw, them wrapping it up with FTR felt nice and complete. And both teams can move on in any direction and you'll forgive. Even if FTR went up, you'd forgive it, but it's like... No,
that's what I thought. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the post-match, like, I mean, Cope ain't going to take that disrespect. It's my wife. You don't know the sacrifices she has made.
I mean, there was 2 cases of losers getting the heat back on this show, and I can't decide which one was more egregious. Like they were both pretty.
Yeah.
What the? Like this was a different kind of what the you doing?
Yeah.
But they were both like, come on, AEW. Like this is a pay-per-view. Allow that. Like the feeling of is actually quite satisfying in wrestling. The feeling of something being wrapped up, and no matter which way it went,
unwrap it.
And then it's like you've just unwrapped it.
Let's move on and talk about Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill. Mixed emotions about this one. Great to see, obviously, Eddie Kingston back in the ring.
Love the reaction to seeing him.
But that finish was not ideal.
No, he should have done it again.
I agree. We've all said this in the office this morning.
It's wild that of all people, Eddie Kingston couldn't, like, with his body of work and how sharp his mind is and how great his instincts are and how great he is as an actual worker, didn't whisper to Big Bill, laugh at me and I will do it again.
Especially because you've already established the Hurricane, the one kick out from the first Hurricane as well.
Yeah. Laugh at me and I will do it again. You need to laugh at me because that was laughable. Point and laugh, ham it up, Big Bill it up, and I'll do it again properly and you'll take the fall. Just odd.
Double wrong because they repeated the Black Horse Slam and they shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Like, that was the one it was like, that didn't go right, just don't draw attention to it, do it again. That one they repeated. And the one that needed the repetition didn't get it. It was
one of both.
This was really bad.
Especially with no, they can't hear it, obviously, but with the commentary with Shivani being like, well, that missed. Oh, it's finished. I didn't get all of it from Excalibur.
On every single level, I thought this was regrettable and I felt bad.
Yeah.
Like the match, not good enough for an AEW pay-per-view. Permissible to a degree with Eddie Kingston having suffered a really bad injury. And I think we as wrestling commentators and fans sometimes are guilty of going, that's 6 to 9 months off. Everyone comes back from that type of injury. You'll be fine. Bit of physical rehab and get on with it. It's probably a lot harder, and we probably don't give enough credit for how painstaking these recoveries often are. So, yeah, I mean, I don't care that the match wasn't amazing. I didn't really expect something amazing or a show stealer. You just wanted to see Eddie Kingston, to see him nice. The match was really not good. It looked like one or both of them, something might have got knocked loopy or whatever.
Shortest match on the main card.
Yeah, it should have been. It should have been. Some of them should have been shorter as well. Just regrettable all round. Get Hamflett's thoughts, because I've got some doubts about the post-match angle.
I had a certain admiration for Big Bill, because I thought, astonishingly, if either of them showed instincts in this one, it was him, because it felt, to Sidge's point, like something wasn't quite right, or like maybe something was off. And when he would take that little break just to get a bit of noise and to get a bit of heat, I thought that's the old school way of dealing with the situation.
Good at that, innit? Yeah.
I felt like real sympathy for Eddie Kingston, which is maybe a benefit because there aren't many wrestlers. The whole point of Eddie Kingston being relatable, either relatable until he's not when he chooses violence, or relatable to the point where there's the human struggle writ large in a wrestler. He's one of the few people that can get away with this kind of injury return. Me and Sidge had talked about the benefits of maybe beating him in the preview, and I was defending AEW for the way they were bringing him back to try and reduce pressure, because I had my concerns it was going to go like this. But then, and I was talking with Murray about this, because he was pretty angry about, Kingston's his guy, and he was pretty angry about how they built this. And I was trying to make the point, maybe there's two sides to this story. And he said, can we lower the pressure on this one and lower the gas on it? Because I don't want to be this big comeback story that then fails on the night. And then they did, and he did. And it wasn't a storyline thing. It was if he loses the match, they kind of get away with this one, don't they? But because he's won and it's looked bad, I'm sort of finding it hard to find the positives. The only positive you can get from it as well, this is a really low bar now in terms of this comeback. And if in 6 months' time the recovery does feel like he's found his fastball again, or his fit, whatever it is, we can be like, the start wasn't great, but how fantastic that he's turned it around.
Mox or whatever down the
something,
road.
Yeah, something with a bit of spice, because this was just a big miss in every category.
Yeah.
So, he wins, and then post-match, Brian Keith gets involved in the numbers game. They beat him down, and then the Hook signal, and Hook comes out to save Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, I'm done with this. Who's got over as a result of these mentor-protege relationships? I understand it's something that Tony Khan believes in as a dramatic storytelling device. They've done it since day one in this promotion with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, where Sammy Guevara... the Wheeler Yuta stuff, realistically, he joined the BCC in 2022? We first had that match with Moxley. It's taken them 3 years, right? 3 years. You could argue the length of time of the new generation era, if you want to use those little comparisons, to go, all right, you're a good little tosser. You're really good at being someone that the fans resent for not belonging.
Yeah.
3 years of that type of story has done.
Dirty Dom turned 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where they are.
No. And Daniel Garcia has been little broed, to use the younger people's parlance. And now he's exactly where he might have been in 2022, where fans, he could join the BCC, go under Moxley's wing. He's 3 years of pretty much nothing. Some great matches. It's AEW. There's loads of them. So watching yet another one of these stories play out in front of me was really quite depressing and underwhelming, and it just gave me no hope for either Kingston's trajectory going forward or Hook's prospects. It's not as simple as having an older guy take you under his wing in the guise of a fictional storyline. You need to go out and get reps or to develop yourself. I've said this constantly. Circular conversations around AEW happen all the goddamn time. The amount of things that just go on. I give Levesque a kicking for this. AEW is arguably worse if you consider what Hook has been doing for 3 years.
I thought he might turn. I thought he was going to make the save.
It's about time.
Then heading on.
This is where it might go, and hopefully it does. Because the idea, right, is what they've done with Hook. And again, it's their fault, really. They should have sent him on an excursion. Or tried to make that happen. Because the value of Hook was Christ as a young, handsome guy who the reports are is a pro wrestling prodigy, and he's Taz's kid, and he's a type of young person cool that I can't even comprehend at my age. He is going to be a megastar. He felt like, bear in mind, Powerhouse Hobbs was in it. The secret hardest person in Team Taz.
Yeah.
Right? Who didn't even need a stable, really. He was just like, and now he's like everyone's son.
Yeah.
They've got this, they had this way early in AEW. And to be fair, in their defense, they've done a really great job of hammering home how young Kyle Fletcher is. So this is not necessarily a company-wide issue, but they had it was such a feature compared to WWE, who would like wait until people were 35 to get them out of the performance center.
The young upstart.
Yeah.
Like Darby Allin, I think he was like 26 or 7. He felt like he was 18 years old for how young he felt, and this youth movement and all the rest of it. They've developed a really, really, Fletcher might even be the rule proving exception at this point. They've developed a habit of making their young guys feel like patronized young boys.
It's like you should only really, best practices, you should only really operate under one wing. Like 2 at best. If you're a babyface wing, Dominic's a good example. A babyface wing with his dad, a heel wing with a Judgment Day. No more wings after that. Like he said,
He's flying at that point.
He's flying. That's what you get. 2 wings and you fly. Everybody knows that.
Fly without wings.
That's how birds work, right? Like anything, something. Like loads of these wrestlers, so many wings. He said about like he's on Eddie Kingston's wing now. It's like he's literally just left a wing and made a point of saying he was leaving the wing. He's leaving the ops wing.
Yeah.
Like, but that's not even his first. The ops wasn't his first wing. Like that was his dad's wing. 3, it's too many wings.
He's got loads of wings.
Like Sammy Guevara, he's Wing City Jones with that guy.
I know.
Can't get away from wings. Like there's a lot of people and a lot of wings, and it's like I'm being funny and being daft and being silly, but the point is it should be one. You should have that one wing.
Then you say wing stop. Brandon.
This podcast is not yet, but it should be with integrations this good.
Again,
Delicious.
AEW felt in a better position to take over the world and was quite frankly better as a promotion when the young people just got it done.
Yeah.
As a matter of course. Now they're all getting winged.
They are all getting winged, man. It's like,
Wing. Hello.
Winged corner. That's going to be a new feature that you're all going to look forward to.
Birthday corner. Special one for your birthday. Wing corner.
happy birthday.
Yeah,
Is that we got 3 now? Is that 3 corners?
You're joking.
Don't hurt me.
Sacrilege corner. Conspiracy corner. Now we're going to have wing corner. When the next time someone who's young just gets partnered up with some mentor.
Not to be confused with Ava, of course. Yeah, similar, but
NXT review, wherever you get your podcasts from.
Just the whispers where she, like others would have been told to take down their certain social media posts, and not her, because obviously other than the final boss, she's like, she got that was some powerful family apparently.
She has,
I know.
Let's get on to tables and tax. This was loads of fun. Well, not to be in it by the looks of it. I will say I was very good at avoiding spoilers all weekend, but on Sunday, I can't remember whether it was the Sunderland red or the late Arsenal goal. Muscle memory. Let's open up X, see what people are saying about this, or see what happened to the red or whatever. I open it up and immediately go, oh, no, wait a second. And the only thing I saw, and I think it must have been a video, but it was just like, you just see one image. And it was presumably about 5-10 minutes into this match, where obviously he's done the spot, all of them horrible, but great, where he shoved Briscoe's face into the tax. And then I can't remember what he's done, but he's got him at some point round here, and he's obviously wearing the white. Mm-hmm. And I saw that image and just saw blood around MJF's crotch area, and I was like, has Mark Briscoe cut MJF's dick off? What's going on there? And but that wasn't the case, but this was a wild match. I loved the bit straight away where obviously MJF's like, no thanks, actually. And Mark Briscoe, polar opposite. Let's cover the entire ring tax to start off.
An absolutely unbelievable decision in terms of the characters, who wants it, who's the coward, who claims he's not being a coward. Like, I loved. It just felt instantly iconic. Like, I'll remember the beginning of that match, like, for the rest of my wrestling fandom. The idea of there being such a surface area to avoid what was sold and registered and anticipated to be complete agony. And I said, on the preview, they are going to treat this like a death match, like they're bombs and not thumbtacks.
I thought you when I saw that, yeah.
Because MJF had done it when this wasn't even the major part of the stipulation, but he did a tax spot in the dog collar against CM Punk. So I knew he was going to approach this in the best possible way, milking it, getting every moment of possible dramatic effect extracted from it, and they did. And it didn't even feel like, well, this is how it should be done. I'm going to flaunt my ability to get the crowd to the point where it would feel, I don't know, it just felt like they still had the hatred. It still had this palpable sense of like, violence. And for a show like this, where there was a lot of it, arguably too much, you should be talking about this match realistically. And there was one spot in another match that I'm sorry was just too tits for me not to remember. I think you know what it is.
Yeah.
Now, I thought they did an absolutely tremendous job of timing almost to the exact second when MJF was going to take the big bumps that he took here. His facial expressions just felt like he was in agony. He wasn't searching for the camera too much, but as a natural performer, he knew how to do it. This was absolutely fantastic. MJF has had a year of, I don't want to refer to it as an it's so over, we're so back cycle, but when you do the match he had with Hangman, then setting someone on fire, and then, you know, he's had a few of like, we actually back. The weekend he had was absolutely incredible, and he would do really well to mess it up from here. Have you seen the Mystico match?
No,
It's
I've
excellent.
heard about it, yeah.
It's absolutely excellent. The temptation would be to try, and I'm going to find it difficult and I'm going to fail. The temptation is to not review it or talk about it as a thing in and of itself, but rather is the antithesis to what a lot of people, even if they can't articulate it or want to admit it, are burned out by.
Yeah.
It felt earnest. It felt real. MJF had a whale of a time. But again, not too much to the point where he was enjoying being a heel too much. He was vile in that match. He was cocky. You could tell this is the kind of thing he dreamed about when he grew up wanting to be a pro wrestler, but he never decided to overshadow it with too many taunts. He was just sort of like vile because he enjoyed it, not because he was having the time of his life. Mystico's, it was a bloodbath. This guy was dripping. Like it was like an abattoir, the canvas.
Saw the bump into the post and the subsequent
Yeah,
gusher.
yeah. I mean, the whole match was absolutely incredible. Mystico, this like to the nanosecond timing of when. Spoilers, just about a minute. I'm not going to talk too much about this. It is the All Out review. But like when the countdown tease, it was one of those where it feels done. He feels absolutely done. The selling, it felt like to it, not quite as powerful, but you know that the Dustin Rhodes Double or Nothing, the Eddie Guerrero, I Quit, was it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean the Eddie Guerrero against Bradshaw, the first one?
Yeah. Where you think, how much blood is too much? Mm-hmm. Like, is this guy in trouble? But because the selling was so good and because the visual effect was so great, when you get to that count out spot, you're thinking, are you going to make it? Put it this way, right? If you hate Boney M wrestling, which is basically what I think of 2025 wrestling at this point, Cody Rhodes, that awful disconnect between what you're actually seeing in front of you to how the fans are reacting to it, or rather not reacting to it, to try and get themselves over. That irony, detached, whatever, the complete opposite. It was anti-Boney M wrestling, MJF versus Mystico. And again, it wasn't just great because of what it wasn't. It was absolutely fantastic for what it was, with every little detail, the timing of when to do it, when to look like you are doomed. Just a magnificent professional wrestling match that felt like, even in terms of Arena Mexico and Mexican pro wrestling, where it really feels like it's earnest, they haven't been bitten by the irony bug yet. It's, for my limited scope of knowledge, even for Arena Mexico, which again, not a huge expert on, this felt different and special. Like the Mystico entrance felt even more like, we need you to do this than the Grand Slam Arena Mexico. I can't believe this happened in 2025, and I'm so glad it did.
Back to tables tax, though. I really liked and horribly winced at the spot where, like, I've never taken any bumps, anything like this, obviously. Never even, like, trod on one. So you think, like, even just walking around with those boots they must have been like, can I have, like, double soles, basically, on this? But, like, obviously getting slammed into it would suck. And just before I get...
Oh, my God.
The ones where it's just sticking out the back of Mark Briscoe's head.
Oh, my God. He got his face in there, the back of his head. He looked like the end. He's like, when you see the visual of them going in the back of his head in that spot where he gets his, like, face, which, by the way, when you watch a match like this, you're meant to feel like, it's too far. I can't deal with it. And you felt like that watching this. Like, when you see it in the back of the head and in the front, you think, that's got to go in his eyeball. Yeah. And you start to really get deeper into that feeling of, this is going too far.
But it's not just getting slammed into it, because it's like we have seen that before. It must suck. It looks wince-inducing, but it must suck. But it's the bit where, like, MJF just dragged him around. Like, we've all been dragged around on a carpet and got a bit of a carpet. On, like, thousands of tacks. Obviously, I'll get to the finish. They set up another table. There's been a chair as well with Mark Briscoe's been doing some crafting at home and sticking some tacks on it and all that. But then MJF, cocky man that he is like, no, we're going to put a load of new tacks over this table and send him through it. In the end, though, Briscoe got MJF on the table and hit him with a froggy bow through that. And then he hits it again, and then a J driller onto the tacks to get the 1, 2, 3.
I thought this was the best match on the show, and I would also say, like, obviously subjectively your taste may differ, but I thought it was the best use of time on the show as well. Whatever the length of this was, it was probably the only thing where I'm watching thinking I could take more of it, or thank you for using it to tell the exact right story and get the hell out of there.
19 minutes and 20 seconds.
Felt shorter.
Yeah.
Like, that's the highest compliment I can pay a match in 2025 on a pay-per-view. Like, this was a proper get in there, do absolutely everything you need to serve the story, to reward the paying audience, and then, like, deliver the catharsis as well. Like, end to end. Like, I would consider this perfect. And, like, I don't tend to do star ratings personally, but, like, and so perfect is 5 stars. It's probably not a 5-star match if those things can be different, but it was perfect for what it needed to be.
What a game on Friday, by the way.
Oh, the star, yeah.
Oh, aye.
It's going to be a mess.
I wish he is.
Like, the fact that, like, they've taken maybe the most preposterous and detested Vince Russo stipulation ever of who's going to get in the ring, and actually made a dramatic device out of it. Like, that brawling around the outside, you are thinking, get him in there. I can't get it. Everyone gets everyone in the ring 100 million times a show, and this is the one time you can't get him in the ring because you've just made the whole thing this, like, lake of this moat of tacks around the AEW logo. Inspired. It's totally inspired. The first power slam, that's the business. That's the goddamn business, and I miss it, man. Like, because it's just, I'm not a deathmatch guy, really. But
says a lot about the pacing and the sequencing of all the spots here.
So much of that is because my ability to care is just, like, diffused so early if you time out the spots in a way that just feels incorrect. Like, when I'm watching, I say it feels incorrect because it's not something I'm thinking about, but if you just do something, either you go early or you reduce how much that weapon is supposed to mean or feel, or that idea you saying, like, you always imagine yourself in there. I've seen weapons matches or plunder matches or whatever where I'm not imagining what it would be like to be in there, so they've lost me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm not, whether they timed it out incorrectly or whatever. There were so many points in this match where that feeling, like, oh, God. Like, that means they're nailing it. They're making the absolute most of what should be a gift, but is often, like, neglected or abused by, like, the wrestlers or the agents that sort of take the piss with it. I just thought they got, like, they measured everything. The fact that Briscoe won with, like tables and tacks wasn't the way he was going to win, because there was its own sort of, like, vindication of a wrestling move, a standard froggy bow, and then getting one for Jay, because all of this was predicated. The total opposite of the Cope and Christian FTR thing. Like, they never lost sight of that. I want to do damage to you, you prick. But also, there's an emotional vindication I need to take here with the J Driller. Like, they could have finished with going through the tables and tacks because that was the label of the match, and they didn't. They never neglected the story, and they gave you the violence as what. Like, the two felt really tethered together in a way that the tag match didn't. This was like art form stuff. I was really, really into this. I would have no... Mark Briscoe, frustratingly, is perhaps not going to win titles off the back of this based on the promo we got later on. But I would,
God,
I know. But I would have no problem. Like, it doesn't feel like this is not some sort of like magic fix of the AEW mid card. We've still very much got like a haves and have nots, I think, in that like that upper echelon. But I would have no problem if MJF took the time away. He deserves a little break. Have your honeymoon or something, mate. Like, and returned exactly where he was, right up the top of the card, having lost this big fouet, and immediately comes back and like, I've still got a contract.
Yeah.
Like, dickheads. Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, almost like no selling it because he is so, like he has lost this program. He has lost. He is the loser. The wins and losses, in the match at least, mattered. You know, MJF's time away to reflect on this defeat before coming back and no selling it with a contract almost serves as a feud because he refuses to acknowledge it. Like, Mark Briscoe was definitively the better man in the end. Felt great. Like, the whole thing felt great. Loved this.
This was excellent. Like, the best thing about MJF in the weekend that he had was just restoring things that you thought you just weren't going to feel anymore. Like, from that brilliant introduction with attacks, it's just like a bed of attacks in this ring, to MJF's total cowardice at the idea of, I don't deserve this. Like, you do, and you're going to take it. I'm not. Yes, you are. I'm not. Yes, you are. Just that unbelievable building towards the spots of, oh God, this is going to suck when it happens to him. And yet I see Road Pro Wrestling violence every single week. Like, there shouldn't be this much, like, up against this match for them to have to nail it to the very second. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is a towering achievement. Did it need to be? I don't think so. But
there have been plunder on every single TV show we reviewed this week. I mean? Every single
one of them. They shouldn't have been given the difficult job it was given, just through complete indiscipline of when to make these moments matter. But if nothing else, you can say this match was arguably even more impressive as a result.
And on a card with a coffin match on it as well. It's weirdly the match I really don't want to, but the first match I'm going to go back and watch just in my own time once the dust has settled. Let's get to this match between the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand. That is, of course, Ricochet.
That's a crap name. Just putting it out there, it's crap.
Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, of course. If you'd have told me beforehand that the Hurt Syndicate were losing, I would have bet my entire house on MVP being the one to take the pinfall. However, credit to him, I would not have had him taking like 70% of the match for the
I wouldn't either, for very different reasons. So basically, the story of the match, and I given the post-match like scene where they were all a little bit like Lashley and Benjamin were kind of like nice to MVP, this sort of silent, like through their body language they portrayed, and MVP portrayed basically, I'm too old for this and that seemed to correspond with reports probably from Fightful, if not, it's the easiest guess in the dark, isn't it, that Hurt Syndicate are looking to add new members to do their jobs and all the rest of it,
Need some pennies in there.
Yeah, exactly.
You got one.
So I think the story being told here was MVP gets his leg worked over, his knee worked over for a longish time, so long that Taz and Danielson, not for the first time last night, had a pretty awkward exchange. Danielson was basically wondering aloud, like, what the hell's he in there for so long? He's the worst one. Do you know, that's basically what he said. Maybe that is the story, and MVP's going to... I mean, he's only had 2 matches in AEW so far, maybe 3 at a push.
Yeah.
Very few. And the idea is, can't do this. I lost it. Lashley and Benjamin are still really hard and all the rest of it. But the issue with me was it was quite boring to watch for the first half. The second half, this was loads of fun, right? Loads of fun. Like Ricochet putting the traps up to like try and say, I'm just as big as you, Lashley, and then him doing the all like beating him in the washboard abs and having knee effect. And then that was great that Ricochet made himself look like such a geek tosser, because we did that when he did that awesome dive over the top turnbuckle in the ring post. I was like, oh, hang on, he's actually good. Where's this match going? I've got no idea. So the second half, like the suplexes, like Ricochet just got murdered. It was fantastic to watch. First half sucked. Second half was, I would like to have just seen the whole thing be that, really. Like a nice, just cooled water splash to the face of just crazy trios action for 7 minutes. On to the next thing. this story beat with MVP, as much as it might make sense, made for a pretty drab first half of the match. And what's worse is, even though MVP is like the older guy, the ostensible non-wrestler of the group, and like, he's getting hurt in there. He's been in there too long. He was an arrogant bastard. Do you know what I mean? It's not like the great sympathetic babyface who's been cheated, or, they've cheated and look at that babyface and they're selling his arse off, trying to get my sympathy because he's been wronged and cheated, and it's not fair that he's in the ring with that cheater. He got in there. My dim recollection of the match, I was getting tired at this point, so I watched it in installments. My dim recollection was, well, he bit off more than he can chew there. Mm-hmm. He's getting his ass kicked and his leg wrenched. And it's not some, like, incredible babyface who's got these just magical powers of, I need you to survive in there because I like you very much, like a modern example, Mark Briscoe. It is the trash-talking, ruthless businessman, MVP, who the character is this guy who's great at talking, loudmouth, brash, arrogant. So the character didn't suit that story beat. And more to the point, he is the guy who will just sabotage any and all verbal segments he has with other wrestlers so he can have the last word. When he's clutching his knee in that match for what felt like 5 years, I'm thinking, good.
Yeah.
You probably deserve this on balance, Mr. Porter.
I wasn't even as high in the second half of the match as Sidge. And the biggest takeaway I had was there is a reason why, with like so few exceptions, you don't tend to have tweeners. Sometimes one falls into your lap and sometimes it can work. But it was basically best practice in the entire industry for all of about a year. And the person who thought it was most best practice was Stone Cold Steve Austin and maybe then The Rock. Like for them, keep going. Yeah, but like what you found was that that can't trickle down. Like you do actually need a roster of goodies and baddies, and the tweeners are kind of like once in a generation, special occasion things. And I was moved to think about this because the match I also found quite boring, and MVP's selling wasn't doing much for me. Again, it was like...
He's a whole 2 years older than Bobby Lashley, don't forget.
But TV age...
It's insane.
He's the man in the suit with the cane. Like, I can buy that kind of thing. But then, to Sidge's point, it's like, yeah, but like, you're kind of just doing this on your own and like, balling, and it's like, so how sympathetic he's... whatever.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this...
Just the dissonance.
I was thinking about the program. The Hurt Syndicate this is... Like, they've made this bed, right, through the politics and through the booking. Like, this program itself was predicated on the Hurt Syndicate coming into AEW as heels and giving Ricochet then a flailing babyface a card, right? Then by the time that they...
Gone off Ricochet, have you?
Yeah. By the time they've gone off Ricochet and tear up the card...
Why did you give him it in the first place?
They become the babyfaces by bullying him into turning heel, basically, right? So already you've had one switch between these characters. By the time we arrive at the match, Hurt Syndicate have basically been situational depending on who they're facing. Ricochet has become an absolute killer heel with scissors. And then does what is perfectly legal in a 6-man, just beating up MVP. Finally, a bit of revenge for the scissor-wielding heel.
It's on in it.
The Hurt Syndicate have knackered this for themselves. Like, I keep saying this in these matches.
Wanted more Toa Leona in this match as well.
The
Bobby Lashley stuff we saw in the week.
Yeah, it didn't build on that at all, really, did it?
Sadly not. I agree with you, Wilbourn.
Just, I don't, like, they're not baby faces or heels, really, at this point, the Hurt Syndicate. So and the fans feel it in the building as well. You can really, really tell.
When they're doing overtly babyface stuff like, I'm going to sell a knee, it's like, well, you're the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
Arms folded. In the first half of the pay-per-view had its moments of the crowd not giving a toss, really. So, the second half of the match should have been the whole match, really. But then, MVP, TV time. He can't do what they did in the last... He just took a breather, didn't he?
Yeah.
He went for the playmaker. They chop blocked his leg again, and Ricochet hit the Spirit Gun to win.
It's just always... It came out of nowhere as well, not for the first time.
Yeah, there's a few on this card,
Who's producing these shows and doing these finishes? Because there's some anticlimactic finishes in AEW right now.
Him being in there to get pinned is funny.
It is funny.
That's right.
What are they going to do next? Please welcome to the Hurt Syndicate. Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that's it. They're just like 60
I would
members.
say all but 1 or 2 or 3 Hurt Syndicate matches. I always think it's an odd choice. What a weird choice that was for this match.
Like putting Bubba and Wall Street in the NWO in 96, isn't it? Well, I mean, we need some people get pinned, so.
Yeah, there you go.
I've already forgotten. We've got a game to play on Wednesday. Oh, it was the outlandish, silly stuff that the Young Bucks have bought this week.
Yes.
Another game. Who's the pinata that they're going to add to the Hurt Syndicate?
Yeah. They usually do a development like that on the post-pay-per-view Dynamite, don't they?
Tony Khan's got a big announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What could it be?
I have no idea yet.
Could it be a boat?
Hey, man, if they announce a Viking Rules match, they just take that.
Yeah, why not?
We got a boat.
Oh, my God. Speaking of anticlimactic finishes, let's talk about Mercedes.
Money.
Versus Riho for the TBS title. She had a load of blokes because she's got so many belts they can all wear one each.
Brilliant, these entrances.
Yeah.
These belt entrances are class.
They're class.
But I know I've already seen you had stuff to say about this on socials with regard to the length of this match.
Yeah, this is the one where I'm like, oh, come on, man. Nothing needs to be, like, this did not need to be 16 minutes. If you can make use of the time, great. They didn't. They, in fact, like, this match has started to loop to an ever-quietening crowd, and I'm like, what are we doing here? If I was in a court of a law, right, and it feels like I'm on bloody trial every time I tweet, right? Right? Every time I post, right? And it's going, right, okay, let's settle this in a court of law once and for all, right? Are these pay-per-views and the matches on them too long, or are you old and miserable? Right, okay. And everyone comes forward with the evidence, and I'm the case for too long. And there's people who have actually had respectful conversations with them.
It was nice back and forth. I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I've had respectful conversations, not often.
Even the doc, or are you a lawyer? Are you on trial, or are you?
I think AEW's on trial.
AEW's on trial, and I'm doing the. I'm going to cross-examine them.
Got you. I wanted a perfect picture of it because I'm into this a lot. So I just wanted to decide. I was trying to decide whether to picture you in the dock or have you like marching up and down the court with your kind of like your questions loaded and ready. And it's now like a physical AEW logo.
I could waste the jury's time getting them to rate the super hunks because that's how confident I am that these shows are too long. Right. My big evidence would be, right, okay, let's have a look at, because it's all a bit like, I don't know, circumstantial, I don't know. How many times? I think the vast majority, you're always going to get a base of ultras. You're always going to get a base of ultras, right? And these court cases take a while. Judicial system, huh? Tell me about it.
Red tape out of my ass.
Imagine you finally get jury duty for the first time in your life, and like, oh, what's the case? It's Sidgwick versus AEW. I can't believe this has happened.
I just want to say this now because otherwise I'm going to forget it. Exhibit Monet. Is that anything?
That's
this is why you have a court jester.
Anything is something. It's a different court, though, isn't it, mate? Right. Various bits of evidence have started to pile up, right?
I'm sorry, I like that. That's the part that was too much.
Yeah.
All of this, the giant AEW logo in the docket.
Unless
Wilbourn in a justice cap. Hello, jury.
Who's that?
unless
Never
you,
done that voice before in my life.
unless you are right one of like the AEW sexual freakazoids who just love it.
They'd be excluded from the jury on bias.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're not making it through that. Yeah.
If I'm going to say, when was the last time you were like, God, I can't wait for Dynamite. I cannot wait. I think that feeling amongst more discerning, vast majority of people has kind of frittered away over recent months and years. Maybe the build to All in Texas, where it's like, Christ, AEW feels like it's getting somewhere. And the momentum is great. We're getting there with this. That's the last time I could truly think, Dynamite's tonight. Oh, looks like a good one. Looks like a really good one. I honestly think the vast majority of people, obviously they're going to watch it, they're going to take the time to watch it, but that feeling of, God, it's ages away, that has evaporated as a result of the increased pay-per-view schedule. And this is the thing I said I wasn't going to do in the intro, fact fans, but I found a way to do it via bit, which we don't actually do. So work that out, okay? Right.
Mr. Lawyer.
This match, right? So what really annoys me is the stomps are incredible. The fans aren't really that into it, but then Riho starts doing these stomps on these ridiculous apron, table, do from the top rope, climb on the balcony, do a stomp. I'm like, this is Riho's in it. She's in it. And then she does that move, can't remember what it's called. Not very good with moves at the best of times, but she gets Mercedes' leg and it's like, when Danielson's like, your knee ain't meant to bend that way. And like, I don't know what it's like to take, a lot like a Death Valley driver. I've walked and went, oh God, my knee's gone and I shouldn't have bent that way. So to see that, I always love that spot in pro wrestling because it's like, oh my God, that would kill. I know that looks like it's going to suck. And then they did some more stuff and then they went back to that move again. Not in the way of like Brett working the leg, going to the sharpshooter, which is always like the key example of like that. It just felt like they just started doing things again. And then for like minutes, so it goes 16 minutes since I looked it up. Like 5, 6, 7, I'm like, oh God, all we need is one big Riho near fall and then Mercedes to get up 10 minutes, right? It's these 6 minutes of just nothing. I would say there was a point in this match where you could almost hear the thoughts of because you couldn't hear what they're coming out of their mouths because there was nothing, right? But you could almost hear that collective thought of, oh, this is going a bit longer than I thought. Oh, I'm getting a bit bored of this. Like, AEW, despite I know it's where the best wrestle, and I know it's probably, on some level, worth them hammering home this wrestling stuff when, like, WWE is not doing that, to the point where I think even some of their fans are like, we'll have fewer adverts and less melodrama and something a bit more like Vaca Io Sky, for example, It's just, they were wrestling out at this point. And this match did not need more wrestling in it. And this happened during the Hurt Syndicate demand match as well. I'm telling you now, the next time you watch an AEW pay-per-view, even if you're having a good time and you think, I'm still awake, and yeah, this match isn't the best, but I'm enjoying it, pay attention to that 3-minute lull. It's ever present, and I cannot get past it at all.
It wasn't in this match in particular, I don't think. But like,
I was enjoying it. That's what annoyed me.
Yeah, I was into it
just
more than I thought it was going to be.
Help itself, could it?
Nah, it was the first sort of 2 or 3 minutes in particular had a bit of a zip that I just didn't expect. I was like,
we lowered our expectations after the Riho match, haven't we? Yeah.
Well, it's sad because the match ultimately did get what the booking deserved, but it needn't have done. Like, if they'd have just wrapped it up early, would have, like, they've really got away with one there. Yeah. Like they've done a match for a match's sake and it's actually delivered on the night. Yeah, it wasn't in this match in particular, but you mentioned Danielson and Taz before, and I wanted to pick that back up again. It was like,
has Taz gotten to that Danielson's? It seemed like
he's the new moves guy, and he's like, I guess there's no place for old moves Jones all of a bitchy rather than collaborative, intense, wasn't it? Yeah. And I don't know, commentary teams sometimes take time, and like Jim Ross all the way down has said how 3-man booths is quite difficult to get a handle on and stuff. Yeah, like Taz was, unpleasant for the vibe of the broadcast. Danielson had simply come to work with his notes and wanted to do a good job and sell the struggle and explain and
he had a great time in that main event.
Yeah.
Losing his mind, it was awesome.
Taz, that was often when Taz is really great on the call, it's when he's doing that. So it was odd to me that somebody else doing that didn't make Taz go, oh, cool. There's a couple of us that can offer that kind of approach. And instead it was like, well, that's my line. When are you going to trivialize stuff, dickhead? Right there. So we went, he got worse at the trivializing stuff because then you had Danielson as the contrast. It's like, what if there's somebody here that just takes this all completely seriously and treats it as real? What's that like? And it's like, it's really good, actually.
Yeah.
The Taz got worse with the jokes.
It's quite like the dynamic of Callis and Danielson.
Yeah.
In the main event.
Because Callis was just in the heel version of the Danielson.
But they both were like, well, I thought it was finished. So did I.
Yeah. It was, Danielson, we all knew that he'd do a good job. He's always good on guest commentary, but he's already so good.
He's fantastic addition.
He's inadvertently highlighted a lot of the complaints we had, I think.
Yeah.
Like Excalibur, I still think as well, is like they're doing different roles, and Danielson is he's outworking Excalibur a little bit in terms of getting across the seriousness of the matches. A welcome addition to the desk. But
I would have Schiavone and Danielson personally.
Well, it's kind of created its own other issue with him being there. He was very good on the whole show, I thought.
Yeah, no, he's great.
I've not actually mentioned the finish of this match. I will do now. Riho went for another crucifix bomb. Mone grabbed the ref, raked the eyes, lung blow up, Mone maker.
I understand what they were going for here. Riho pushed, and maybe you have to go longer than you would expect out of this to tell the story. Riho pushing Mercedes to a length even Mercedes hadn't reckoned for. Certainly the fans hadn't. oh Christ, the longer this goes, I'm getting dragged into those deeper waters. Eye poke, get out of there. Maybe you have to go a while to tell the story, but you could just tell a better one. You could just have Mercedes Money wins. Because what they're going to do with Riho over the next, have they got like a big spreadsheet, a big storyboard for Riho's next 12 months? No, they haven't. No. So why did she need this much in the way of protection?
I'd say this, like, the Moneymaker looked great. So it's a good job that, like, every wrestler is the same sort of size and shape.
Yeah. You know what was annoying is, like...
It was maybe one of the best ever. Like, oh, that's why. It's because you're quite small and you need somebody smaller to make this work.
Yeah, the replay looked even better. The second angle.
Mm. Well, unless you have any further objections, we'll move on to the next match.
He's not listened to a word I've said for 5 minutes. He's been waiting for me to stop so he could tee that up.
Guilty.
It is the trios match, the AEW Unified title, Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mascara Dorada.
It's just... Well, tell us the finish.
Well, I thought... there was a lot of love for this online, understandably. The finish was Takeshita hit
said everything, didn't it, Sidge?
Finish was there was a raging fire by Takeshita. Okada comes back in to try and steal it with a Rainmaker. Takeshita forearm. There's a drop kick to send Konosuke to the outside, and Okada grabbed Dorada, hit a Rainmaker, and survived with the title.
It just worked.
It just worked, this match. And here's the thing: it kind of just worked.
It just worked.
This was absolutely fantastic bell-to-bell professional wrestling that could not. Again, this is my version of the Hamflett match from earlier. Not a fiver for me. But this is the 5-star version of itself. This could not have gone any better. The whole idea was we want to kind of wait to do Okada versus Takeshita. Maybe it's going to culminate at the Continental Classic or whatever. Let's do a job of giving you a sample of how awesome that pairing's going to be, which, by the way, we've reached a point now with Okada where that's no guarantee. Mm-hmm. He had a match with Kenny Omega, and it was the 4th best match at All in Texas. All bets are off now in terms of, like, is he going to turn up? I'd suspend betting on him turning up now. It used to be the case where it is AEW Okada. You can't get your hopes up too much, but what if he does that? For me, I'm now a bookie, man of many jobs. I've gone from lawyer to bookie, and if I'm suspending betting at my bookmaker on Okada turning up, if you put, I'm going to put 500 quid on Okada, I'm not taking your money. Those bets are off. Because he ain't ever turning up. There's no point. Right?
I should have never left the legal profession for bookmaking.
Exactly.
This has been a disastrous financial call.
What have I done? What have I done with my life? I asked myself that question many days. So, because the Okada dream match factory guy, epic bacon main event dude, right? That dream is dead. He himself has killed it. What an unbelievable bit of booking this was. Because he didn't have to do that much in here. Dorada, who was incredible throughout, absolutely incredible, was there for a specific reason. Well, two. Get him over and get him to do some of the heavy lifting here so that we can preserve Okada Takeshita. This was the best possible advertisement for Okada versus Takeshita because I've been worked all over again into thinking Okada's going to turn up into these singles matches because he was incredible here. This match was fabulous. In and of itself is this match that, you know, it functioned to preview a different match. But in and of itself, like, these three-way sequences were electrifying. Absolutely electrifying. Got to a point where it was so dizzying and exhilarating, this belt-to-belt in-ring action. Like, Takeshita was just on it as well. And hasn't always been this year. Few flubs in that otherwise incredible match with Ospreay on Dynamite.
People didn't go nuts for his G1, did they? And he won it. Like, people were saying, like, a lot of the group matches, it was...
I mean, I can't say that.
Like,
I haven't watched any of them. There was
another
another match that he had in AEW where I'm thinking, that wasn't ideal. That was not ideal. But he looked the business in this match. Okada looked like the Okada of old. Dorada, who was essentially the glue, just looked spectacular.
Well, I saw a lot of tweets saying he understood the assignment.
Yeah, this was absolutely blistering, fantastic action, bell to bell. Not only was it the very best version of itself, but it made Tony Khan look like a genius for booking it.
Yeah, you knew what the purpose of it was, but there's no guarantee that purpose gets achieved on the night for all the reasons Sid just laid out, the Okada thing in particular. But triple threats, I've praised certainly the Triple H's love of these triple threat tournaments for this reason. Yeah. But sometimes it's so transparent that it actually creates a problem rather than solving one. And well, there's the loser that gets pinned, and there's thanks for the moves. I've protected somebody. There's all these dirty words attached with what is, quite tactically savvy booking, but it requires the match to have that drama, and it's sort of, you have to be AEW's audience, I think, predominantly knows what they're looking at when they're looking at this match. We talked about it in the build-up. The tournament itself was fundamentally quite flawed, but it existed for this match and to achieve all these objectives. But when you're going into a match like that, it's not easy to sort of create the drama, because it's well, I can't wait to see these objectives accomplished. And they did it. They did it over the course of this match. Dorada, I had really mixed feelings on just how good Dorada was here, because I was so blown away when typically a guy just comes on the scene in AEW and blows you away, and you're like, you know what that upper mid card needs is a work rate guy.
Yeah.
Loads of them. There's too many of them always. But it's that thing about it's wrestling. I've been fooled again. I watched Dorada, it's maybe this won't be a 6-week Dynamite and Collision run. Maybe there's a real world champion in there. There's not. But for a night, I was yet again fooled that this is, it happens so often, but it's often because of nights like this where in the moment you're just sort of captured by something.
Sid, you're so right as well. If I was going to go into bet Sidge, at the start.
Instead of bet Fred?
Yeah. I was
okay.
And I was going to, at the start of this year,
I've already got Ladbrokes, so.
Sidge picks. What's your picks? Like Sidgwick's, but Sidge picks.
Ah, nice.
If you like, yeah.
Super Sidge doesn't work. It's a football. It's not. Anyway. But if I was going, if we knew the matches at the start of the year, to boil it down, this is very basic, but to boil it down to its most basic
Brill.
Deft Fred.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Bet 3 Sidge 5.
Yes. That's very good. It's all good stuff.
But if you'd have said to me at the start of the year, right, which one do you reckon Okada's going to turn up for? Very basically, a match against Kenny Omega at their biggest show of the year, or a match where the story is basically not, this is again very boiling it down, is basically the brilliantly talented, almost younger version of you takes the majority of the match and you come in at the last second and steal it. Which one's he going to turn up for?
Yeah.
It's bonkers to think, it's that one. But yeah.
No, this is perfect. The amount of times, and this is again, it's very New Japan, but into AEW, I don't think he always does the best job of it, but it's a very Tony Khan device to do a trios match or a 8-man tag where in the respective teams there's two rivals who are going to have a bigger match down the line to do the preview. This is one of the very best ever uses of one of his favorite devices, like the Sakata Takeshita match. If they hadn't have done this match and they've just done Okada Takeshita, I'm thinking, it's Okada. If it's good, it's good. I'm not getting excited. I'm not getting my hopes up about this. This match, in addition to being thrilling in and of itself, has now got my hopes up probably too high for this eventual singles meeting. Excellent bit of business on at least 2 levels.
It's worth a rewatch this, because it's you almost can't believe how they held stuff back, because it didn't feel like that at all, did it? But clearly they're holding an entire match back, really. Yeah. And it never once felt like
this.
This
feels like the biggest dream match left this year.
Yeah.
Okada Takeshita for me right now.
Let's get to this coffin match. Another wince-inducing match that you couldn't look away from. Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. It started straight away. It wasn't let's get to the bad spots later on in the match. Darby Allin fights Moxley as he's making his entrance, then does a coffin drop off the stair, the bit in the crowd. Oh, we're just starting there, are we? Yeah. Just insane bumps onto the coffin, yet again from Darby Allin, numerous times, not just one. Just simple stuff, again, horrible, but your hands in the coffin.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them took this, and it gets stomped on or slammed. The lid gets slammed onto it.
Like how knackered the coffin was.
I was half thinking, does that even qualify as winning if it closed there?
I was thinking, they're just going to have to say, the referees effectively called this because the lid's ruined. And there was the bit with, Bryan Danielson, I'm not going to help. I'm just going to get a bag out and go, help yourself to that. So it looked like it was over about 5 different occasions with pipes getting involved and just the insanity of everything that Darby Allin does on a weekly basis, it seems. And then, just as it looked like finally Darby was going to put a semi-suffocated Jon Moxley into the coffin,
Leighton Baines comes out.
That's a great shout.
Great shout.
Yes, Pac appears.
Better than I first thought it was. I was like, what the fucking hell is Austin Aries doing?
A few other people thought that.
I was like, that was a split-second moment because it was like, Pac looks a bit short, doesn't he, with clothes on?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not his fault. Like, just super jacked, so you kind of don't see his height. But not him. What? Right there.
And he grabbed Darby Allin and effectively razors edges him out of the ring onto the second coffin.
Oh my God.
Modern day gladiator. If you want to put hairs on my chest and blood on my dick, remind me of Mike Awesome and I will love you forever. An awesome bomb onto the coffin.
Incredible.
Your modern day gladiator. Awesome is his name. He's one of the best wrestlers ever for me.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best theme tunes ever.
You would do this in games because you just think, well, like Mike Olsen's never going to get on the main stage. You're never going to see this. So I guess I'm just going to like pick up Maven or whoever and just throw him out the ring 20 times in SmackDown versus Raw. Oh, they're doing it for real again.
On coffins.
Coffins.
And he drags what's left of Darby Allin back in the ring.
So stupid. I loved it.
It's great, wasn't it?
Puts him in a body bag, and Mox kicks the lid closed. I also like the fact that I've got a note here that simply says, tried to set him on fire later.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Can we
Talk about the match first.
luxuriate in how great the match was.
This
and
match was
then actually cover
fantastic.
the pros match, yeah.
This match was fantastic. It felt like Darby Allin was doing like everything to survive this. Look, like Moxley was like, there's been a trope. By the way, can I just say, sometimes, and I think we're all guilty of it to a degree, we take AEW for granted. Another 5-hour great show. Same again next month, Tony. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's there's just too much. Too much good stuff, right? And it's like, I mean, I don't know how these Americans do it. It's like having like 20 donuts. It's like, do you want a 21st donut? No, thank you. I don't know how Hamflett does it as well. But, do you know what I mean? That's my thing. It's like, come on, I'll just have 3 donuts, please. I'll see him again next month.
No, I'm a quantity guy, yeah. 21.
Yeah.
21
So
today,
I don't
21 tomorrow.
Why don't I like AEW then?
You make a good point. That's, yeah.
Yeah, fooled you. Fooled your pants down. On my birthday, yeah.
I thought your pants down and fed you donut.
I love how AEW, which again I take for granted too often, it's just very casually decided to go and Undertaker, you were these matches can be great. You know what the problem is? You boring bitch. Like they do coffin matches semi-regularly, or every now and then is probably, and they're always awesome. And this is awesome. A completely different match to that excellent Christian Cage, Jack Perry coffin match where it's like Christian Cage, I don't think he even did a move. He's like, get me away from him. My time has come. I've reaped what I have sowed, and I'm not ready for it. I'm just going to run away from this guy the entire match. This was instead Darby and Mox, like, I'm going to kill you, but I'm also equally afraid of, the consequences of my actions and all the rest of it. Like, the bit, and it was just so perfect where it's like, hang on, how do I get this coffin in the ring? Well, I'll get Marina to try and undo the bottom turnbuckle. But for now, what if we just try to pick it up and then start too late? Boom! Darby Allin's just suicide dive through the standing up coffin. It was absolutely sensational bit of pro wrestling, that.
Just a bit of blood in there really early on.
But you got the subverted Christian Cage performance from Darby here when it was like, I don't care. Like, Christian Cage is doing everything to avoid the well overdue comeuppance, right? Darby Allin was the opposite of like, I'm going to be the ultimate babyface in this match. You can break my fingers if you want by closing them on this coffin. I don't care. You're not burying me here. You, one-on-one, are not burying me here. And I have this thing where I do find it harder to get worked by pro wrestling, like the same, and maybe it's an in-building thing, but as an example, the same 2 counts that people lose their minds for. I don't know if I'm just so attuned to the rhythm of this overdone epic match style now where I'm thinking that's not the finish. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get that's a problem for it. Maybe in the main event. Oh, don't hurt me. I got completely worked by, the Death Riders. Oh, Mox is doing it then. And I hadn't thought about Pac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have to pop his fingers back in at one point as well, Mox? His finger was like at a weird angle and he just sort of went insane.
All really the good kind of group. Like Darby Allin's, like the energy levels of a Darby Allin match are like nothing else in wrestling, really. There's a reason why we used to say it and like be a bit critical of some of his opponents. Where it's like, yeah, but you've got to remember the match against Darby Allin. Yeah, keep looking at the common denominator. Like, how many times is it that Darby Allin thing?
The adjective.
Darby. Right. I want to give them a let off with something before I take the piss out of something. Darby Allin enduring 2 hours sat in a coffin holding a weapon waiting for just the right moment to strike, I can actually forgive, right? Because the whole point of Darby Allin's law now is that the man climbed Everest. There is no feat of endurance in wrestling that he can't survive, get through, and then even thrive, such as fooling John Moxley and the Death Riders into thinking, I'm just going to wait this one out. This me's lying in a coffin situation, I think will end well for me. Like, it gets silly, but just the idea of, I'll wait this one out because I need to, even in defeat here, I need to prove to John Moxley that he is not Everest. Nothing's Everest but Everest, and I've done that. So, and that's, I get that. As a
Everest completed it, mate.
Yeah. He's Jay from the In-Betweeners. There's a character detail, Jay from the In-Betweeners, Alan, is this guy that they can keep, and we said this, right? You can keep using the Everest thing, and you should, in all different ways, and that will be one. I'm pretty confident, it's not even a criticism to address, but if Darby Allin wants to say, you didn't think I could just sit in a coffin for a bit? Like, you were scared of being in there. I wasn't. I wanted to kill you. Like, you were the one scared of dying, and you just so happened to get to me first. I didn't think about Pac. I didn't think about needing numbers, whatever. F*** off setting people on fire.
Why you've trivialized this instantly.
Like, you just cannot, man. And someone needs to have a word. Like, it's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And this is not do you know what? To go back to The Undertaker, right? I can actually manage The Undertaker and Kane doing it because they're magic space zombies. It's bollocks, but you buy into the bollocks of this law with these characters. Yeah. It is like Kane shoots lightning bolts. But he's Kane. Like, he's this idiot. He's the burned girl. It was Randy Orton. Randy Orton and the Fiend. Like, we're taking the piss out of it because the universe with which he's operating is preposterous, right? And Randy Orton entering into it all of a sudden and burning a guy alive on a pay-per-view is like, no, not acceptable. Darby, you've said prison. Well, you know what isn't Everest, Darby? Prison.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll take it out of that.
Yeah.
Also got a bit of a track record now. He had a flamethrower, didn't he, at one point?
And that wasn't.
That
wasn't great, but
it was the third Anarchy in the Arena match.
Even then, right? Not great, but Anarchy in the Arena.
That has its own
an atmosphere.
Its own quasi thing.
I don't know whether it's just Tony Khan definitely can't, but these fine lines. When you use that example, I was ready to say the same message. It was like, it is weird that I can wave that away for some reason.
It's almost lights out, isn't it? It's like
they have found the most literal ever definition of getting your heat back. It was ridiculous. Again, and you're watching it and you're like, you're trying to watch The Magician. It's like, have they just slid John Moxley out and put a stunt on? No. So John Moxley, I kind of did my own stunts, man. Yeah. And I cared less for the match that you just had as a result of it. Really wound me up.
It pissed me off. This. How have they not? I know we're not the only ones who are rolling our eyes at these constant crimes and stunts, right? How do they keep thinking, this is cool? Is there a single person who's going to approach Dynamite? Oh, he's not listening. Is this cool?
Is this cool?
Is there a single person who's going, God, can't wait to turn into Dynamite TBS this Wednesday, 8/7 Central, because my God, John Moxley ain't going to take too kindly to being set on fire in its storyline development that I took seriously, and I think will be significant repercussions.
Yeah.
Well, John Moxley almost got burned alive. Switching gears, we got the AEW World Tag Team. You can't just
bleached
like Darby,
fire
dude.
match.
I set a guy on fire. Should I upload my YouTube channel? Like it's like weird teenage stunt stuff.
I
Like,
will.
whoa, dude, he's on fire.
Yeah, it's like it's so
Jack Arse.
lame.
Jack Arse.
Jack Arse.
It's a new character. Hello, I'm Jack Arse.
It doesn't have to
Setting
be. It
myself
doesn't
on
have
fire.
to be a new character on the podcast. It's so much dumb stuff and incident and stuff going on. The only time, and I'm pedantic with this kind of stuff, like people should be arrested. Like I view wrestling in possibly the wrong way, but AEW tell me no, treat it seriously and all the rest of it. The one time anything other than the flaming table, which just rules, an actual crime was justified by how much had happened, what had happened to the character, the severity of it. And even I was a bit like, I wouldn't have done that, but the visual made it worth it. It was Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house and like drinking in the chair in front of us. Badass album cover.
Yeah.
The ends absolutely justified the means situation. You can't just be setting people on fire in a 5-hour main card pay-per-view after a coffin match of tables intact. I watched it and I was like, I took seriously the very real committed violence in that coffin match. All right, okay, well, there's fire extinguishers within 2 seconds of... it's stupid. Absolutely stupid. Darby Allin needs to be told. This idea, no.
Whenever one of these things happens, you can always draw an example from like very recently as well, where it's like, well, what are the rules, mate? Like at Forbidden Dough, Mark Briscoe gets the techies to cue his music up, makes a run in, and is stopped from even making it to the ring by like an army of security guard. And Darby Allin gets to set a trapped in a body bag John Moxley on fire before they turn up on the scene. Like, what's allowed? Like
I always think about the cameraman. Is this okay?
Yeah, it's fundamentally a very silly world, and I've grown to...
Because Moxley did the like, you guys get the hell out of here, and you too, cameraman. And then that was the key for Darby to get out of the coffin. So they've done the word. That's what's so funny. It's like, come on, we need to make this realistic. Like, it wouldn't be realistic.
Imagine if he missed it as well as a cameraman. He told me to leave. Like, what happened? So fire.
It's crime and death and murder obsessed. This wasn't my take, but Wade Keller did a count of how many threats were made on people's lives on the Go Home show. It was 4 on one Dynamite. Like, I'm gonna put you in the ground, or I'm gonna kill you. Like 4.
Yeah.
If everything is sold as being this super intense, like be all and end all blood grudge program, like nothing will be. It is a promotion defined across every single area by excess.
And we got the 4-way for the AEW Women's title. Toni Storm, of course, Tekla, Jamie Hayter, and your new AEW Women's Champion, Chris Statlander. Didn't see that one coming.
It's weird because I wouldn't have done it. Surely you should have attached more sense of ceremony. But then again, right, this is a swerve that completely caught me by surprise, and maybe the lack of, well, with how predictable AEW is, I would have they often foreshadow and telegraph what's going to happen, and it has a detrimental effect on my investment and stuff and everything. It's like, well, this match is going to happen at this time. You know what you're getting all too often with Dynamite. I did not know I was getting this. So, you know what? Maybe I think I'm broadly in favor of it, especially with the reign this long. You're thinking it has to end, and you know it's going to end when it's going to end. Like they've built up the final big challenger. It's getting a little bit boring or whatever. AEW usually does a bad job of just telling you what's next. I would never have guessed this. Hamflett did.
Yeah.
Hamflett did. I will say before...
I didn't think it was going to be Statlander, I will say.
There was some seatbelt pin and just...
Which
I loved the goddamn finish so much. I thought the finish of this match was fantastic. I didn't think a great deal of it in terms of... Will I remember this as one of the best matches of the year? No, I didn't want to. I think the kind of sudden out-of-nowhere finish was perfect for the gut punch of the reaction. I think if this had went 16, I would have been bored by the time we got there. So it was really good how it was quite short.
Another good showing for Tekla as well.
Yeah, no, she was insane in this match. Like, there was one spot in particular where I thought, you need to calm down a little bit. Not too much, because I enjoy how reckless you can be in that ring.
Toni Storm boot in the spider pose.
It was absolutely hilarious.
Nah.
So you got this was incredibly refreshing, the more I come to think about it. Didn't need to be long. In fact, as with the case with as the case would be with a lot of things, if you could just imagine a better world, this is significantly better and more effective for its brevity. You got Jamie Hayter looked like she had a really good night. Tekla continued to impress. Like the sudden, what just happened? Only happens if it's so short and seems to arrive out of nowhere. This feels like, what do they call it in Hollywood? When like a director, he probably should have won an Oscar by now, if not for the latest work. Scorsese for The Departed. He's done better films. I probably deserve the nod.
Oh,
There's
like
a word.
Yeah.
Anyway, this felt like that for Statlander, more so than on merit. You have become
a lifetime achievement. Stuff,
yeah. You have deserved this on balance, as opposed to you're in such undeniable form. We have to capitalize on the momentum with a title shot. But really, really liked everything about this. Actually, one more thing on the seatbelt finish. I thought where they're going with the Statlander Moxley stuff. And I know she's done it on Collision, but like it was like, oh, you're going down a bad path. This is the start of it. Actual directions for characters as well.
They always do. The Statlander Death Riders.
What's their first crime going to be?
You've ruined it, mate. Because she's obviously going to do one, isn't she?
Yeah, that's how you...
Shoplifting? Not minor, isn't it, early on? And then that's...
It's the gateway.
It's a gateway.
Slippery slope, isn't it?
All the way to alien abduction.
Yes. That's it.
Yes.
I'm into it now.
No. Didn't like it before. The Death Riders Statlander thing, they do this one little incident where you're like, ooh, and then nothing happens for like a month. But this is the best of the lot so far. Her winning the title, the most effective that any kind of bond with the Death Riders has been. Like, and there was I thought to that point, there was a really impressive amount of like unease when Harley Cameron came out with her, and you felt a lot of sympathy for Harley Cameron. I think you're going to be the first one to suffer if Chris Statlander makes this call, and she's taking Utah's advice, and that's worked. So all that they're doing, it's proof of concept for her joining this retooled Death Riders that John Moxley is, well, with Daniel Garcia is now evidently putting in place. Pac with his top on and his haircut. You know, there is a new vibe to the Death Riders that they're working at something here. So Statlander either joining or not in the twist. If she doesn't join, that becomes this like big babyface moment for her as well. Yeah, there was something in Toni Storm's promo on Wednesday that made me think a title change was coming, but it was just really hard to imagine anyone but Tekla getting it because there was so little momentum. But maybe that, you know, without that, you don't get, like, it wouldn't surprise me if in the next few days, if it's not out there already, because like sometimes these things are like quite tactically leaked as well. Like if we find out that this exact title change on this exact night was in the plans for months, and in order to get to it, to get to the like micro version of the Undertaker's streak, like feeling in the crowd, you have to have Toni Storm go over Mercedes Moné and Athena in back-to-back pay-per-views. It's like what she really was doing there. There's nobody left for me to beat. I've cleaned the division out. And I think it was that like, is that what's going on here? They're kind of giving you the big shocked face moment, and they did it, and they pulled it off.
She got pinned. It wasn't like, you know.
And that's it. It was like anti-Hurt Syndicate booking, which Toni Storm is not daft. She knows that people read the room, and that will only enhance her respect amongst the very plugged-in like fan community who see that she's doing business. Because now, like her next chapter, it's not going to be like when she lost to Mariah May, and they were able to take it in that like quite wacky direction. She was selling this as a like the timeless Toni Storm character has been like knocked off her perch and almost can't quite come to terms with it. And that, I think that's just going to be, we're all going to lean in on Toni Storm now. She's made. So yeah, they might have, like out of nothing really, they might have finally got where they've wanted to with Statlander for years up to this point. So really interested to see what's next.
Nah, this is legitimately all good stuff.
It's your Wednesday point. It's probably Statlander's Women's World title is the thing I'm most like, what's that look like then? Where are we going here?
And
How does
two
Toni
women's
Storm-
matches, of course.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
How does Storm, that's because it's a new rule. How does Storm react to it? You said more on the pasty bed. Did you just want to gloat, or did you have a double or nothing situation going on?
One of the things I love about our friendship, Sidge, is that we are both tired dads, men of a certain age, 40, in fact. And
We're both 40. We're all in our 40.
Yeah.
Soon enough.
And birthdays come around, and there's this lovely, I don't know if it's unspoken, I would probably just outright said it, where it's like, hey, we've got enough tasks and hassle in life, should we just do nothing? We sure will, pal. My birthday present to you is winning the pasty bet, but telling you don't need to pay up. Happy birthday. So even when you lose, you win, because what do I know you love? To win.
I love to win.
There you go. So I'm giving you the win, even like
You're saving me the hassle of walking 15 seconds to Greg's.
Some tasks, hassle, and money saved. Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you. You're all hot. It's my 40th. I'm joking. I don't get my friends presents.
That's a goddamn thing.
I don't get presents for friends. You're nicer. You sometimes do for people, don't
Nicholas does. He's
I was going to say this till the end, but I'm a nice person.
Oh!
And don't get your hopes up, mate. It's not that good. Yeah. But I figured you were 40. So, and I heard this gift is phenomenal. I know it's not a pair of AJ Styles gloves, but a man once said that this is a very phenomenal thing.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, I've got a can of full fat Coke.
A can of Coke and 2 cookies. A la David Lynch.
Phenomenal.
Like a little slice of heaven. That is so thoughtful. Oh, yes.
There you go.
I'm going to eat them now.
We don't eat them now, obviously. But
Thank you. There's the podcast where people eat and I find them very off-putting. Just wait an hour to snack and gorge.
All talking said about the ladder match for the World Tag Team titles. It was the champs Brodito versus a fully fledged entranced Young Bucks, Jet Speed, and of course, Josh Alexander and Ejiro. Thank you to Brian Wedding. That popped me huge at the week.
Cannonero edit.
Aye, that was sensational.
Unbelievable bit of business.
Tell us to finish.
The ladder match was good, yeah. There was yet again some insane bumps in here. There was that spot where, was it 3 people got put through tables and then the ladder bridge.
Bang.
And then it was Brody King and I can't remember who had, but they went through the ladder bridge, right?
That was my Bailey. Speedball.
I was getting stressed about Speedball.
Bailey
not wearing
nearly
boots in
killed
this
it.
match. I was getting really stressed about it. You know, you talk about like wincing though. Like it's one thing to bump when you got no boots on. I don't know how your balance is affected or anything, but like ladders in particular. Like, you know, if you climb a loft ladder without shoes on, it hurts, doesn't it?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Slippers is a bit of a halfway house, but
Dangerous though. There's an element of danger to slippers because one of them bad
I also like to live dangerously.
We've been outright told don't go up there in the new house.
Really?
Well, ghosts. Oh no, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Just basically said you'll be lucky if you can support a Christmas tree. It basically said for all the crap that you're not going to look at for the rest of your life, just put it in the shed, basically.
Put it in the bin, if anything.
That'd be my choice.
Stuff in the bin, mate.
That would be my choice and leave.
That old storage closet, the bin.
Like, Merry Christmas. Bin. Like,
There were 12 minutes of this match, like about a good 12 to 14. At the end, where I'm thinking this is unhinged, I'm getting, give me some blood, give me some broken bones, give me some violence, give me some wild stunts. It went 24 minutes, and I felt it. I was waiting for it to get crazy.
I was worried that you were going to bollock me for not really loving this one.
No, it went too long.
It
went too long.
It's because the Bucks as well, they've got that elevated expectation in these scenarios. It wasn't quite there, was it?
Yeah.
So Hechicero was going to die. Mike Bailey did that.
Yeah. That spot
Where's his head gone?
So it's like, I thought someone had broken their shin and the other wrestler had broken their orbital bone in the exact same spot. It was like the backflip knee onto his face, onto a ladder, and it got stuck. Oh, awful and awesome at the same time. I eventually felt the way that ladder matches are meant to make me feel frightened, scared, like bloodthirsty, and marveling at the ingenuity of how it was all put together and the escalation of, God, if Bailey's doing that and we're nowhere near the finish, oh my God, I'm locked in because what's going to come next? Oh, it's a jumping Brody King Gonzo bomb through a suspended ladder. What the f***? Right? And there was a bit where Bandido, how he's done this, it looked like the Angel of the North doing a bump off like a safety pin because he gets the ladder and he goes onto the ring post and does a moonsault.
Yeah.
It looked like it was when Brody King passed it to him. Oh, don't forget this, mate.
Yeah, it looked
They
like...
used to do the mini one with John Morrison, was it? But it was like the Hornswoggle ladder.
Yeah.
For the gimmick to work. It
looked like the angel. It looked like the Angel of the North getting up and doing spots.
If you're in the front row, you're like, no, thanks, mate.
Yeah. Get away from me. That looks awful. It just... There was about 8 to 10 minutes of this where I'm like, get to the point where you ruin your bodies, please.
I mean, that was basically the finish. After that, King took out the Bucks with a tope and Bandido got up from that move and just went and got the belts.
Oh my God, it's got the logo on it.
It's got the logo.
Premier.
Premier.
Oh,
I love Coca-Cola's integrations with football. It's always good, isn't it?
Coca-Cola Cup being the most prestigious cup, of course.
Indeed. You know, we won the first Coca-Cola championship. I only learnt this recently.
Did you?
Yeah, didn't know that. The Coca-Cola Cup and the brand, when the cans were like just all football. Or you could get a Coca-Cola ball. That's good stuff.
It was good stuff.
big fan of Carabao, mate. Love a nice glass of Carabao. Different way you do.
Same.
The World Cup, I think it was the Italian 90 or the USA 94, like mini footballs. You would get a white one for Diet Coke, a red one for Coca-Cola, and then a green one for Sprite. That's good branding. I think Speedball Mike Bailey is my wrestler of the year, personally.
Really?
Yeah.
He's been incredible.
I was thinking about this over the weekend because it's that time of year now, and there's loads of time left, and the Continental Classic sort of changed that a bit, and like Triple H not being a bad booker has changed that a bit. It doesn't just have to be, well, right off November and December or whatever.
Well, he is a bad booker, though.
But
I mean, I did watch some of WrestlePalooza.
yeah, Jesus, more on that later. God damn. Garbage. Yeah, just matches are not jumping out in 2025. They're not. And Speedballs and the ones that are. The more I think about it, the more like, it was when we were talking about Okada. Oh, suck-ass Okada. Speedball was good. Speedball got a tune out of him. So, like, and then I think about all these jet speed matches. They're all great. Like
That Young Bucks one is the best tag team match of the year.
They're taking that Young Bucks mantle of that, like, well, they're the ones.
The best TV match for a tag.
Yeah, he's a wrestler that I have to just sit down and watch. It's like, oh, Speedball's working. Like the 8-mans that you get tired of. There's so many formats and situations that you can just feel exhausted by, and then he feels like a bit of a difference maker when he works them.
No, definitely.
Should we talk more about the post-match? Because like you said, it was just bonkers ladder
But
spots.
newsworthy.
Yeah.
Your favourite came back.
Yes.
Loud as well in the building.
Aye.
So post-match, the Bucks there in the ring, and who should appear but Jack Perry, who turns on, fights the Young Bucks basically, but the numbers game allows them to beat him down and get him in place for the BTE trigger. But all of a sudden, the lights go out, and we see sort of more of the video package we'd already seen previously when Killswitch returned, of Jack Perry digging him up and nursing him back to health, basically. And there in the ring is Luchasaurus, and we get the reunion of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus effectively, including him hoying off the Killswitch belt to officially, I've called him Luchasaurus since he returned, basically, but he has been Killswitch. But yeah, Boy and his dinosaur back together.
You could have called it. Called it.
Yeah.
Was it a BTE thing with a knife? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so on a BT upload, there was sent the Young Bucks program boy. It was sent a knife saying, this time you can use it to stab me in the front, or something like that. And that combined with Killswitch being ejected from the matriarchy, are they called now?
Is
That just
yeah,
his fan nickname.
sense,
Either I thought
yeah.
it was going to happen, and I welcomed it because one of my favorite matches in AEW history. Like, it's not considered one of the best, but one of my favorite matches in AEW history was that. Right, we'll have to do a cage match because the Young Bucks are taking the piss here with screwed Jurassic Express in 2021.
What did Tony Khan say when after that?
Enough! Enough is enough! No more! No more! I'm not going to sit down and take this anymore.
I got a lot more money than Crockett.
Remember that one?
You gotta laugh.
You gotta laugh. Please laugh.
Lovely to see the whole crowd doing it. Straight away, though. That was awesome, that moment.
It was like there is nothing wrong sometimes in admitting defeat on a push. Like, genuinely, I mean this, right? There is nothing wrong in admitting defeat on a push. Like, bookers should do it more, promoters should do it more. If they didn't have such massive egos, they probably wouldn't fall off the way they do. And in the case of this, and to a lesser extent, that trio we always loved, the Acclaimed and Jerry Lynn, they are just simply saying...
Don't do it at the same time, though.
Well, no,
That's a really
look.
bad
I
look.
didn't think about that. But, like...
It's a real bad look, actually.
But owning a mistake and trying to go again, like, I'm actually all for it.
Yeah.
The fans are telling you, for the short term at very least, maybe even like a tweaked version because of everything Jack Perry's gone through. Like, it's not like he got rid of the beard, for example, as a bit of a visual signifier that it's still Jack Perry. It's not like the old Jungle Boy, and it's not the old Luchasaurus either. the stuff they've experienced might add a bit of extra heft to the team. But yeah, I don't mind when promotions sort of own it and be like, that was over. Should we try that again a bit longer? It's fine.
Yeah. No, I really can't wait for their match.
Yeah.
It'll surprise a lot of people, I'm telling you now.
And then we got to the main event of the evening that, well, Bryan Danielson nearly had a heart attack watching this, basically, watching Hangman Adam Page and Carl Fletcher for the AEW World title, with no interference, of course, from the Don Callis family. Otherwise, Fletcher would have lost the TNT title about 3 or 4 different spots where he thought, someone's neck's getting broken in this match.
Yeah.
Jesus. The dead eyes,
that last one, like physically, they probably thought that's probably a terrible idea to do, but yeah, it's my big night. Let's do it, sort of thing.
Like, it's not a bad thing. He's following Ospreay in like every respect.
Yeah,
the way that Ospreay followed Omega, and it was like, there's pardons, guys.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. But yeah, it was this epic that concluded with Carl Fletcher trying everything, thinking like there was a bit where he just, right near the end, where he just stood there and was like, "Come on, hit me," and there was nothing left. Said Hangman Page, and they're in the corner. They've exposed the turnbuckle as Carl Fletcher, but as he's going to brainbuster him onto the exposed turnbuckle, Page fights out of it and slams Fletcher into it. An avalanche dead eye.
Stupid and incredible.
And then Fletcher climbs to his feet and Page flies in with a buckshot to get the 1, 2, 3. And there's a nice moment between Page and Fletcher post-match.
Don't hurt me. Sacrilege corner. I'm lower than a lot of people on this. Not to say whatsoever that I didn't think it was an incredible achievement by the 2 wrestlers involved, that I wasn't bang into it by the end, and that I'm not saying either that this wasn't pretty much the exact thing you had to do. For better or worse. But then by the end of it, yeah, maybe better. For better or worse, sounding a bit... Basically, that Coke has done something to me, and I think you know what it is. So I'm trying to have some manners here. It's my fault for drinking it so quickly. I love Coca-Cola so much. It is the goddamn beers. For better or worse, I think they should be retrained, like dogs. There are wrestling fans who equate...
Close the bookmakers. He's going to open a dog training facility.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans.
Like, is it Joe from S Club 7? Is that right?
I don't know. You've started a dog training facility.
So,
there you go. Don't know.
Sorry.
There are wrestling fans who, and the bookers don't help themselves, and you can accelerate as you say, that Omega Ospreay, now Fletcher trajectory to a broken body at no age, realistically, where a long match is conflated with a great one or a great achievement, right? So the idea here was give Fletcher his 40-minute, went 38 this, didn't it? And it felt it for me. It did feel it. Give Fletcher his 40-minute, because if he gets his 40-minute, it's like a really ironic shortcut, even though it took forever and it must have killed these guys who grafted so goddamn hard, and a really ironic shortcut into that. That's how we get him into that next echelon of critical acclaim, right? If he goes 40 minutes and Dave might go 5.5 on this, who knows? Then he'll be, and I know Fletcher's, who hasn't hit that bracket yet, but it all goes in service of the story we are telling is that Kyle Fletcher is fully established in that Swerve, Omega, Ospreay, Hangman bracket of the best wrestlers in the world, hybrid-y, state-of-the-art, neck-droppy guys who can go long times in that ring and give you the classics and what. This achieved that. I think a lot of people came. I would say Fletcher was already there, and I've enjoyed Fletcher matches that were shorter than this, when he actually seemed to have a bit more personality, and understand as well all that time. It had a cumulative effect, and it was effective on that basis, because by the time it got to those last 10 minutes where Hangman was just fighting with everything he had, but Fletcher, who had dominated him, dog-walked him really, was still finding ways to get those 2.999s where you think, Christ, they give you the whole palpitations. But for me, for whatever reason, this didn't affect me in the way that the best Omega Ospreay, Hangman, 40-minuters or 30 to 40-minuters. I just don't think it's in the very S tier of that like genre of main event. I can't articulate why. Maybe it's a feeling thing. I think there was a bit of telling and not showing here. They were telling you very insistently with how long it felt like it was going early and how dominant Fletcher was. They're telling you, receive him as the next 40-minute main eventer guy. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah. This was very faithful to the story for Kyle Fletcher's sake.
Yes.
But this is the third time I can think of, and Sidge has got a better memory, so there might be more examples. But now, the Ospreay match, the MJF match, and now this have all featured this, like, I'd say 5 to 7 minute middle period that just does Hangman Page no favors. It drains the life force out from the Hangman Page.
The Double or Nothing main event had this sort of quality as well. Excellent, but a bit like unnecessary at certain points.
He is the hero of the arena, right? And you saw that. The best example of that recently was, of course, the Jon Moxley title win. And they know they've got that. And it's the safest bet ultimately for AEW. And then by the end, and the effectiveness of the buckshot lariat, or that sense when it's great to know that the opponent is doomed because they don't know it themselves, because they never respect Hangman Page enough until they've actually just been pinned for the 3. And that's a really nice feeling when you've made that one critical mistake and Hanger's got you now. It's like, that's what you should feel for a bit. And, we have a bit of fun at Hangman Page's expense sometimes, me and you, not you, Sidgwick. But, like, as a babyface world champion, that's his strongest suit. Yeah. It's like, you back that winner because the heel that they're facing or whoever's facing doesn't really realize it until it's too late. But there's this, is it an agenting thing? I don't know what it is, but there is a midsection of the Hangman Page match where the thread is getting lost for the sake of...
They both went 40 minutes.
Yeah.
The Ospreay and Fletcher matches, I basically had the exact same opinion of this match as I did the Ospreay one, where the last 15 minutes, utterly spellbinding, ridiculously dramatic, some of the best counters you're ever likely to see, some incredible imagination on display of how to put all these things together. 10 minutes of boring flap, quite frankly.
I wouldn't want to sit through it again.
That's the
Danielson Page hour-long draw. I'd watch that again today.
Yeah.
Like that, the TV draw. I'd watch it again today. Like, these are not examples of those matches.
It just goes to show that half an hour is sufficiently a very goddamn long time. It feels like the parallels with like what happened with New Japan post 2019. They would go up to 40, like a lot. What does it achieve realistically? Unless it's a perfect match, right? Like Omega Okada or whatever. Ospreay had a match with Shingo that went long. That was absolutely unbelievable as well. So obviously in certain circumstances, the additional length actually does help. But there's been way more times when I've seen them go. I've seen wrestlers go 40 and 50 and just think, what did those 10 minutes achieve? Other than this pretty transparent bid for, God, this must have been even more epic than the last Epic Bacon because it went 40 minutes instead of 30. What is it? What do those 10 minutes achieve? Realistically, very little. Very often, rather, nothing. 10 minutes are pretty like, get to the point, lads. When the point was gotten to, like there was a small package in this that just blew my tits off. Thought that is the finish. I prefer the Dynamite match to this.
Yeah. It was mission accomplished, though.
Yeah, that was my broad thought as well.
Well, let us know your thoughts on All Out, either in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. You actually can follow all 4 of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow the birthday boy and wish him a happy 40th. Michael Sidgwick at...
it's my birthday. Be nice in the comments, mate. M. Sidgwick.
You can follow our producer Adam Nicholas at...
It's Adam Nicholas.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcast from for daily wrestling podcasts. Got the WrestlePalooza review later on today. And of course, we'll be back later on this week to preview AEW Dynamite. But for now, this has been the AEW All Out review. My thanks to Hamflett, Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.